Hello everyone, and welcome back to the ARPA Highlight Series. I am Cameron McLaughlin, the Equity and Engagement Coordinator in the People and Belonging Department, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today. The ARPA Highlight Series is here to shine a light on the amazing programs and resources made possible through Athens-Clarke County government's allocation and distribution of ARPA funds. Our goal is to educate and inform our community about the impactful work being done, the lives being changed, and the opportunities being created thanks to this vital funding. In this episode, we're reflecting on the ARPA-funded impact the CNC Athens program had on the success of Encourage H.E.R Academy and its mission to empower young women in the community. Through vital resources and mentorship, this initiative helps young women navigate academic, professional, and personal challenges. We'll explore how the program is uplifting the next generation of leaders in Athens, the unique barriers these young women face, and the transformative role of community support in creating pathways to success and self-sufficiency. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired by the stories and insights we will be sharing with you.
My name is H.E.R.
Let's talk a little bit about Encourage H.E.R Academy. What's its mission? How did it get started?
Encourage H.E.R Academy was really just an idea that I had for a while, but I never went forth with it. And it wasn't until COVID when I got that light bulb moment to be like, okay, what is my purpose? What is something that I want to pour back into my community? During COVID, I was working in the hospital scene, so it was a lot of chaos. Back then, we didn't know what COVID was, what it was doing. We just knew we had to isolate ourselves, couldn't be around family members anymore. And for me, working in the hospital, I had to make a decision. I'm a mother, so I had to make a decision of continuing to work and possibly bring something back home to my kids that we did not know what it was at the time, or step away from that job and go full force with helping them with online school, which was something that the kids had to do, and then kind of find like my true calling, because throughout life, graduating, I am a native of Athens, graduated from Cedar, so go Jags. Graduating from college and high school, it was kind of like, what is my purpose? It was always like, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what the family wants you to do, but it was nothing for me to be like, okay, I feel fulfilled. And it took years to find that. It didn't come right off the bat, and like I said, COVID kind of gave me that aha moment. So after seeing my son's teacher kind of struggle to keep the kids focused on, digital learning, I kind of had the idea. I was like, what if we just did girl talk where all the girls went into like a Zoom class and just talked about how their life was during COVID? And so I reached out to his teacher. She agreed. The parents agreed. And from there, we did Girl Talk, was a Zoom meeting. And the girls just talked about how COVID affected them. Because as adults, we knew how it affected us, but we didn't think about how it affected the kids. Where school was some of their, that's where they wanted to be. That's where they saw their friends. That's where they were social. That's where they was, seen, heard, and supported. I started thinking deeper, like, well, sometimes school was a safe haven for some kids because they have a lot going on at home. So when COVID came and we was all on lockdown, I can imagine like the mental and just the anxiety some kids were going through, because home can be stressful. So from Girl Talk, I was like, well, I want this to be more than just a Zoom. I want this to be an in-person thing. I want this to be where girls can truly come and be themselves, and they don't have to worry about what social media says. They don't have to worry about the stress of life that has been given to them. And so we moved into in-person space. I started out in Lawrenceville, and I did that area for about 2 years, and about 42 girls showed up for those meetings. And it was just like Girl Talk, this place to come talk about life from elementary through high school. What's going on with you? How can we give you a solution? And then from that, I was like, I want to bring it back home. So I brought it to Athens, and that's where we have been. And we've extended and expanded a lot since these last 4 years. So we've been just celebrating our 4th birthday on March the 5th. And year to date, we've serviced almost 150 girls.
Nice. Could you tell us a little bit about what the H.E.R stands for?
It does. So Encourage H.E.R stands for Hope, Empowerment, and Resilience.
Let's talk a little bit now about the CNC Athens program and how that's helped push further the mission for Encourage H.E.R Academy.
Yeah, so being part of CNC was one phenomenal for me. I met a lot of great other organizations in the community which help with collaborations, because at Encourage H.E.R, we don't want to be the one-stop shop, the one-all and be-all. We're about community. So if it's something that we don't necessarily offer, or if it's something that a family needs, I now have other organizations organizations that I'm linked to that I can refer, the families we serve to. But CNC helped us get a good footing for our foundation. Like I said, we serve families and girls, but with CNC, it gave us a better structure, like brick by brick. Like it made the puzzle pieces come together. It made the way now that I go about building my board or building my team, it makes sense because I have the tools that I learned through CNC.
So you talked about collaboration and some of the strategies that CNC Athens provided. How did you share that information with like stakeholders and the community?
So my capstone project for CNC was the launch of my summer camp, She Leads. So with that, I wanted to secure funding to help us through the summertime. In talking to stakeholders, I shared with them how She Leads is a leadership camp for girls, but it's also a way for us to build community, like show them the different resources and the different places in Athens, the different businesses, because sometimes our kids only see home and school and then maybe the library, maybe. But the program was built to show them like Athens has a lot to offer if you really go out there and put yourself out there. You have to shake hands. You have to go talk to people. You can't always be on your phone 24/7. And a lot of times I hear kids say, oh, Athens don't have anything. And I'm like, what's the most local place you visited from a local, not a chain restaurant, but from a local person? And the summer camp, just telling stakeholders like we did local things that kind of shine more light on Athens. They loved it because a lot of times we get caught up in like what they already know, like the chain restaurants, the chain businesses. But no, let's support home because this is where they're growing up, and a lot of our stakeholders appreciate that.
And one of the things, especially with these government funding, these government grants, there's some type of like measurement or how do we show how successful this program has been? Can you talk a little bit about that and like maybe some highlights, like how this?
Yeah. So we do a lot of surveys at Encourage H.E.R. So we'll do like a entry survey. So it's kind of like, what do you hope to get out of the program? Or what is something you want to learn while you're here? And so then probably 6 weeks after that, we'll do like a check-in. They'll do another survey, not just the girls, but the parents as well. Because we want to see if the parents and the children are kind of aligned as to what they want their child to learn. And so we'll do like a mid-month check. We'll be like, okay, so thus far, how is the camp for you? How are you liking it? What is something we should take away or what is something we should add? And then at the end of camp, we do an end of camp survey. Like, what was your overall experience? Next year, what is something you would say we could add or take away? How was the environment? How was the teaching? How was the workshops? And not only that, we stick with our girls throughout the school year. So even though we're a leadership camp, we dived into math and reading last summer. Those same girls I've been following this year at school to see if those math and reading grades have improved, and they have. And I'm excited because this week is parent-teacher conference, so I get to see how much a year's worth of our training has helped them this year.
That's awesome. So I want to kind of talk about, like, you talked about the surveys and like getting input from the parents and the girls that participate. Are there any like creative programs or anything that was created based off of that feedback that you heard?
Yes. With our She Leads program, we are definitely coming back this summer, but it's She Leads Career Quest. Okay. And this year we are going to introduce 3 career pathways to the girls, 1 being cosmetology, 2 being healthcare, 3 being mass media arts. Okay. That came from the girls themselves last year saying, I want to know more about this, or even if they've been talking with friends, what's interesting to them versus just a summer camp. Like, let's make summer fun. You're out of school, let's have a break, but let's still keep it educational and fun. So this year we are ramping it up and we're doing She Leads Career Quest.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges, not even for the program itself, but maybe even like being funded through federal funding. Let's just talk a little about some of the challenges that Encourage H.E.R has faced and how you have overcome those challenges.
So I think just like any other organization, funding is kind of the number one thing for organizations to secure. And just continue to build those relationships because we're all going for the same funding. We're all trying to go for the same pot. And it's kind of like, how can I continue to make myself stand out amongst others? How can I continue to push the bar so that they can see that my mission is working, that we're truly making an impact? We're not just another organization out here here just trying to figure it out. Like, we're truly making an impact to the family. So for me, it's doing the dirty work, the muddy work, like going out here, talking to families, seeing exactly what is your need and how can we help you there. You know, what is something you're struggling with your kids. You know, our youth right now are dealing with a lot. They're facing a lot. And some of my parents are not able to give them, you know, the resources and tools. So it's always for us, like, how can we serve our community, serve our families more, but also get our, you know, supporters to understand, like, your support, your funds, you know, your donations truly make a difference. It's not just being held, like the money you give us, we're pushing it back out to serve our community better.
Okay. So we're going to go a little bit back into like the CNC Athens program itself. Can you talk about how this program has led to some changes or insights, maybe even unexpected insights or changes to your program?
So with CNC Athens, the biggest thing for us our biggest takeaway was proper program planning and giving detailed program plans, so that if a funder says, hey, do you have a program plan? Let me see it first before I make a decision. That is something I think we definitely took off with once I understood it better, because I can say the first time my program plan was basic. It really didn't give much. It didn't tell a story. But now if I was to give you a program plan for either one of the programs, you can see, like, okay, this is what they're doing. This is how it's helped in the past. These are the numbers. These are hard numbers from people who've actually gone through the program. So I think that helps us a lot better when we have a detailed program plan to present.
When you talk about like the reading levels and like how they've grown as students, are there any other metrics or anything you all use to track the progress of this?
We use their iReady scores that they do through school.
Okay.
So a lot of times we'll ask parents, like, hey, they'll do an iReady test when they first start school. They'll do one in the winter, and then they'll do one at the end of the year. So when parents give us those test scores, we can see either they started out strong and kind of, you know, started to fall, or they started out strong and then they rose to the occasion. So we use those metrics to keep us kind of ahead of the game, like, okay, this is what we need to see, because I already breaks down whether it's comprehension, if it's phonics, like what is it their weakness or their strength. So we can see, like, okay, she can read the passage, but she's not really comprehending what she read. That is something we can tailor her tutoring to.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about the past. We talked a lot about what's going on currently. Let's bridge out into the future a little bit. Looking ahead, what are the goals for Encourage H.E.R for the next few years, and how do you plan to sustain that after the CNC program?
So our plan is to become a K-8 school for girls. That is our long-term plan. And how we are trying to really get ready for that, we run our mentorship program as if we're already a school. Okay. So when the girls come, they have rules, they have expectations. When we're out in the community, we move on one accord. So we already tailoring it now with the program that we have. So by the time we get the building and get the students, it's kind of like we already was in motion for it. Our parents are already well aware of how, you know, what we're trying to move forth with. And we appreciate our parents. Our parents are the GOAT, really, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be. So we appreciate our parents for the love and support. And how we plan to sustain that is continuing to just be here for the community, making our programs relatable, making our programs not just, you know, sitting in a seat education, but something that these girls can take hold to and grow with so they can become great women of the world.
What advice would you offer other organizations like yourself that's looking to apply for capacity building opportunities like CNC Athens?
If you are looking to grow in capacity, I would say have a 5 to 10 year plan already in your mind, because that is what's going to help you throughout capacity, because you need to know, like, which way I'm trying to grow. Is it through your board? You know, is it through your volunteers? Is it through your staff? Have an idea, like, okay, so we're here, but in 5 years, we want to be here. In 10 years, we would like to be here. And that'll give you a foundation and a blueprint of how you need to go. Just keep going. Don't give up. It gets hard, very hard. Sometimes you just want to throw your hat in. Like I said, funding is scarce, but don't let that stop you from truly putting your mission out there. I'm always telling people, like, if you truly do the work and it's hard work, everybody and everything that's meant for you will come.
How can the community get involved or support your efforts in this program?
Yes, we are always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for supporters, whether that's individual supporters, businesses. We're always looking to collaborate. You can visit our website, encouragehracademy.com. Send me an email at admin@encouragehracademy.com. Follow us on all of our socials to stay up to date on the things we have going on. And we're always here. We're looking for girls. So if you know girls 6 through 17 who needs just a space and a place to just be themselves, we're that place. We're that place. If you know any families that need support, again, just reach out to us. So we have space for everybody.
Last question. Is there anything else you'd like the listeners to know about Encourage H.E.R. or the impact ARPA funds, especially through the CNC Athens program, has provided to your organization?
So we are very grateful for ARPA and for CNC. Like I said, they definitely help us propel ourselves forward. We was able to get our brick and mortar with this program, and we just look to grow and continue to grow and continue to, even if it's more cohorts that they're wanting to roll out, you will definitely see Encourage H.E.R. in the building.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the ARPA Highlight Series. We hope you've gained valuable insights into the impactful work of Encourage H.E.R. Academy. This initiative is empowering young women by providing vital resources and mentorship to help them navigate academic, professional, and personal challenges. A special thanks to Kiera Tramwell, founder and executive director, for taking the time to share details about the program and the broader vision behind this effort. Her insight and dedication reflect a strong commitment to empowering the next generation of leaders in our community. Be sure to tune in to future episodes as we continue to highlight transformative projects and resources benefiting Athens-Clarke County. Until next time, take care and stay informed.